I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. And this topic can be, when I address it, can be taken the wrong way. I don't want you to take any blame. I'm not blaming you. The topic is, what does it mean when everything your husband does annoys you? And I'm going to turn the tables a little bit, and I'm going to take the blame away from your husband. I'm not going to blame you, because I don't believe in that. I believe that we do things that are incorrect, but it doesn't mean we're at fault. None of us want to do what's incorrect. You don't want to do what's wrong. You want your marriage to produce what you got married for. You got married so that you would be happy. You got married so that you would feel love. You wanted to feel unconditional love. So did your husband, your soulmate. And now, what happened? What happened? Not what's wrong with you, not what's wrong with him, but what happened. That's what I'm going to tell you. And then you'll be able to start correcting it. Because that's what you want. You want to have happiness in your marriage, don't you? So, annoyance is a form of anger. That's just what it is. It's a form of anger, resentment, annoyance, and anger comes from, this is interesting, it comes from our biology, our body, really. It's not just like this emotion that happens. It happens on the surface because we're not getting our way. That's the psychological equation. I'm not getting my way, so I'm pissed, annoyed, resentful. I'm not getting my way. But you don't want to look at it there, because then you get all wrapped up in this psychological crap. What happened when you were a kid and all this, and why does this bother me? We could bypass all of that. There's all of this stuff that Western psychology likes to dive into is useless in terms of dealing with it. Because beneath that is the biology. The biology means this. And you know that every living thing, because you learned this in school, every living thing is defined by its essential drive to survive. Self-preservation is in every living thing, from the smallest cell to us, human beings. We have this drive to survive. It originates in life, but it isn't who we are. It's what our biology is. As human beings, we are at the top of the food chain, they say, but we're also at the top of the evolutionary chain in terms of how we are created. We are souls, and we have a body, and we have a mind. The body is comprised of trillions of cells, all of them clamoring for survival. And it's constantly pinging the mind and saying, watch out for this, watch out for that. Included in that is this fear that, this is when it gets to the mind, that if it's just the ego we're talking about in this case, if I don't get my way, I am in danger. And so annoyance becomes serious, you see. It shouldn't be serious. It should be seen by us, we're souls, as, oh, my mind is acting up. My mind is not getting its way. I, though, and this is the key to your salvation, I am a soul. What do I care whether I get my way or not? And so what happens is the mind starts to see this danger in your husband because he's the closest one to you. Everything he does affects you. Everything. He breathes differently and you get worried. He's important to you. He's right there, unlike everyone else in the world who's just there and not there. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not there. He's super important to you. And so the mind gets in the way of your heart, and it replaces the love with annoyance. That's the simple explanation. As complicated as it may sound, it is a simple explanation. The mind gets in the way of the heart. You know when you're angry, you're not feeling love. Even when you're annoyed, you're not feeling love. You cannot feel those two at the same time because one is going this way and the other is going that way, and you just can't do it. So you have free will. You can determine, I'm going to ignore my mind and I'm going to start talking to my mind about all the loving attributes that my husband has. And that's how you deal with it. Now, you want to have a great marriage, you go much further. I hope you're subscribing to this channel. If not, hit the button now. But because you'll learn so much about marriage, you'll learn so much about yourself. But if your marriage is starting to really struggle, get one of the books. It's affordable. Get one of the courses. It's really affordable. Go to the website. See what our offerings are, articles. We're here to serve people. And it's very different how we approach things. What I just taught you is absolute science. Where else do you hear it? Nowhere. We're the cutting edge. So what does it mean when everything your husband does annoys you? It means that the mind is building up the case against your husband to get rid of him. He's dangerous. That's the mind. Your heart is saying, I love him. Why this conflict? Well, now you know. Now you know. Because you need to distance yourself from your own mind. You need to realize objectively that it's its own thing. It's like having a computer. And the computer all of a sudden starts feeding you all this spam. There's a part of you that's going to buy into the spam. But then you go, wait a minute, it's just spam. That's what you need to do with your mind. It's the truth. The mind gets in the way of your happiness and love because the mind can't experience either. The mind is just a machine. It's just there for you to utilize. And that's what's going on. Love your husband. Live your marriage on the highest plane of love and happiness. That's why you got married. Don't allow this to derail you. You have free will. It's very powerful. Utilize it. Now, if you're a therapist and you've just heard what I said, you're going to be going, And I ask you to look deeper into what we have. Become a TMF marriage counselor. You know how to work with people already. Learn to work with them in ways that really help them. It really helps them transition from the suffering they're going through in their marriages to the joy and the love that they signed up for. There's an online course for you. Just go to the website, you'll see, and we will welcome you into our TMF family. I'm so glad you stopped by. God bless you. I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation. I hope to see you again. Like the video. Thank you, and take care.